Okay, in this segment I'm going to show you how to mount the three-bladed prop and spinner onto the Evolution engine. The Evolution engine does come with a what they call a flywheel. Okay, it's basically a standard spacer with a weighted thing around it, and it helps to keep the engine going even at low RPM, which is kind of nice. It does have a washer behind it, so make sure that washer is there behind it. Okay, and you can see that it's sort of a square hole, okay, and that's to make sure that the thing grips the flywheel. The flywheel grips the spinner. So once you get that on, you put the back plate of the spinner on. It's obviously a three-bladed prop, so it's got three pegs on it for this three-bladed prop. And then when you and the spinner on the back has grooves on it to match the spacer, so it grips that very well. Okay, and when you put the prop on, make sure you line. First off, make sure your prop is in the right direction. Okay, that is the back of the prop. That's the front of the prop, and you can tell by the way the blades are open. Our blades are facing, I hope. Okay, so that goes on, and then make sure that the prop is up against the post there, because that's how that has to align. So these are hex head bolts. Okay, it's a 2.5 millimeter hex head bolt, and just get that in there and get it started, and carefully start that. I'm going to turn the airplane a little bit so I can get to it. Okay. Okay, important here is, okay, I've got one screw started. I want to start the other two screws, because you want to tighten this down a few turns at a time on each screw. The spinner has a raised portion here that fits into a groove on the back plate of the spinner, and when you do that, if you try to push it all the way down, you probably can't. Okay. Guess what? I forgot the prop nut. I'll be right back. Okay, now that I'm back and I got the prop nut and I got the prop washer, I'm going to put it on. It's also one of the techniques that I use to catch myself when I make mistakes like this. I have all the parts laid out here, and I saw the prop nut there. I go, oops. So I got the prop washer on. I'm going to put the prop nut on. As I hand tighten this, I'm going to make sure that the prop is up against one of these posts on the I guess I'd call that the left side of the prop is up against the post. So it's in a clockwise direction. because that's how, if you see in there, that's how the hole here and that where the screw goes into that post are aligned. Okay, so now I'm going to take an 11 millimeter wrench and tighten it down. And these need to be reasonably tight, but don't strip the things out. That's about as tight as I'm going to get it. And now we'll put this on. And as I said, you can get it almost all the way on, but you'll see that there's a little crack on between the spinner and the back plate. So I'm going to tighten the screws a little at a time. And as I do the final tightening, you'll see that crack between the back plate and the spinner just close on down. Okay, that's getting almost closed. We do this one. This is why I like a hex head bolt in my spinners. You usually don't find them in, plastic spinners. Okay, that's snapped in, that's good. Now I can tighten the rest of these. Okay, that's almost closed. That's closed. So the gap between the spinner and the back plate is now tight on that one. And now this one is good and tight. That's good and tight. And that's good and tight. Okay, so spinner, prop nut, prop washer, blade in the right direction, all on. I'm back with one last tip. I like to add tips from time to time in my videos, so enjoy watching all my little tips. So I got this on, this is the airplane I've been flying around for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And in the shop and in the car, I don't want oil dripping out of the back of this muffler. So I just take a quart-sized little Ziploc baggie and do that with it. You can wad up some paper towels and stick them in the end, but they fall out sometimes. So this keeps the oil in there, and it's a simple way to do that, and just prevents the oil from getting everywhere. Enjoy my tip.